Stugotz, you know that Mike Ryan has ripped Carmelo Anthony a great deal recently. Got to a huge argument with Amin Al-Hassan about the relevance of Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo is mad because he is saying that the Nuggets gave Jokic his number in a petty move to erase Melo. And now Charles Barkley is saying of Jalen Brunson, he's making the Knicks more relevant than any time the Knicks have been since Patrick Ewing. So Charles Barkley is also erasing Carmelo Anthony. I want to just show you a picture of Charles Barkley here in studio, Stugotz, with Luca, because I don't think that the younger generation understands when they see Charles Barkley and hear a loudmouth that led the league in rebounding. Shorter than Luca. I've stood next to Charles. He's barely bigger than me. Now, his ass is around where my shoulders are. But Charles Barkley, look up some of the stats for me, Jeremy, the rebounding stats on Charles Barkley, because Pablo Torre joins us now. Pablo Torre Finds Out is his podcast. It's streaking up the charts. It's very popular. He's doing smarter stuff than most people. But what do you think there, Pablo, when you look at the photo of Charles Barkley standing next to Luca and looking so small next to Luca?
Yeah, I think that Charles Barkley needs to get someone to make one of those highlight reels set to modern rap music so kids can appreciate what he was. Because I'm just on the border, Dan. I was born in 85. But I remember there are videos of Charles Barkley doing things that are genuinely jaw-dropping if you only know him as the guy who struggles to pick up his leg to fake karate kick Shaq. And this is just an example of how it is that he was overcoming people who were larger at his time, let alone in comparison to Luca, who's also shockingly tall, as a side note.
He averaged 12 rebounds a game for his career.
I mean, he led the league 1 year with 14 and a half rebounds per game. And again, he was barely 6'5", if he was 6'5". I'm not sure. I want to read to you guys a quote, and I want you to tell me who it is that it came from. Quote, "It's always a fast break when I have the ball." This is a quote from last night, actually. "It's always a fast break when I have the ball."
Josh Richardson.
Funnier than that. I've got something funnier than that.
For the other team,
I might know.
That's pretty funny.
Was it Ben Simmons?
It was Ben Simmons.
Oh, really? He's back?
In his first
You're
game back.
nuts. I mean,
In his first game back, he had 10, 11, and 8, and he announced his arrival for the Nets with, "It's always a fast break when I have the ball." It is.
but I'm not shooting.
Pablo, I know people have gotten tired of it, but I think it's one of the most fascinating stories in the sport, the mental short-circuiting of this player.
Yeah, look, I have been for a long time his foremost, surrogate on sports talk, radio, and television, because I've always believed that Ben Simmons is mostly a flying car without a stereo. He can do everything except for the thing where I would like to listen to music now, and he just won't shoot or dunk or even just take shots that jeopardize his confidence. So the question for me, and I loved to see him back last night, almost getting a triple-double immediately. The question for me has always been just how aware is he of his shortcomings? And I think the infuriating part of Ben Simmons for so many people is that he refuses to admit that he has shortcomings. And that dynamic is so funny to me, even if it maybe is the only way you can cope with the fact that those shortcomings are obvious to literally everybody else.
He came out guns blazing last night, 5 of 5 from the field. I mean, that's a lot of shot attempts for Ben Simmons. Seriously.
That's a funny quote from him. I mean, you would think he would arrive quietly, and no, that's not the way he's arriving.
Wait, do people want him to just meekly? This is the thing I'm saying, though. Do people want him to meekly say, I want to just declare for everybody here that I suck and I have not played in a very long time, so please just be gentle on me as I try to humbly reinsert myself into the world of basketball? Or do you want him to be this character who actually was once upon a time, literally not so long ago, an all NBA caliber player?
It'd be great to see Ben Simmons back with a level of confidence. He said, "As soon as I checked in, I told them, you know what time it is." That's another quote from Ben Simmons last night.
I love this. I love this man. I am now being re-radicalized into why I rooted for him. Because he's trolling everybody, but also I think he just needs to say it to feel better about himself. Because he was the number 1 overall pick. Like, there's no other. He was hailed as the next LeBron, and of course he is not that. But man, that guy just needs to believe that he is still exactly the story that he tells himself to make himself feel better about himself.